Hello, welcome to Sky Sweaty Record Review, episode 159. Only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the gym. Now, this is going to be a quick episode. I reviewed a EP. It's actually only like 10 minutes long, and I only had 10 minutes to work out. And that 10-minute workout was actually interrupted by my kids calling me from Africa, which, as we will see, is kind of a funny thing. So what I wanted to do was, I've actually listened to this album yesterday as well, and I kind of got the idea I wanted to talk about it, and there's not much to it, right? It's a 4-song EP by someone named Bass. B-A-S. And I saw his name. It's called Spilled Milk Volume 1. And I thought, well, maybe there's something French going on here. So I got interested as a French professor. I thought, well, maybe this is like bas, like low in French, you know? That's what that happens to mean. So like maybe it's about like, you know, a low life, or maybe it's about like, I don't know, like low sounds. I don't know what. It turns out it's actually a shortening of his name, which is Habas, something or other. And turns out, based on his bio from Tidal, born in Sudan and then lived in Paris, which makes sense, and then moved to Jamaica, Queens. And it happened to be last weekend, I was with my kids in Jamaica, Queens. Probably not the same part where he grew up. I was like about half a block away from Donald Trump, where he grew up. Weird house with these giant pillars, just really in bad taste. It's like a neighborhood called Jamaica Estates with lots of really great houses, and then all these weird monstrosities built by people who want to prove they're rich. No political commentary there. But anyways, that's all part of Jamaica, Queens. And so I thought, well, I'm going to review this guy no matter what. It's too big of a coincidence that I found this guy because I thought he was French and he lived in Paris, and then he is from, technically, the place where I was over the weekend. So what is this album? Well, it's not an album, it's an EP. And basically with EPs like this, I want to make a judgment. When this guy comes out, the full album, am I going to listen to it? Now, Chance the Rapper just released a full album after a whole bunch of EPs, and everyone got wicked pissed at him. So, I don't know. This is not as great as anything I've heard from Chance the Rapper, but nor is it bad, and it does some interesting things. It's got 4 tracks. The first one is called Jollof Rice, which already is interesting to me as a French professor, someone who studies Africa. He's making direct reference to a kind of food, a rice dish. I think it's most of West Africa. They eat jollof rice. So that's in the chorus, you know. It's not a song about rice. It's a song about, I don't know, being rich and being cool. Most of the thematics of the album aren't really about his identity or growing up or anything important. Actually, that's not true. The beginning is. The second half is like a love album. It's a very condensed album. It's like a full album, but just really short. So the first track is Jollof Rice, and it's not... Oh, I left my notes over here. Okay. I'm not wearing any pants, so I can't stand up and get them. So the first track, Jollof Rice, has kind of a nice beat. It's almost like a throwback to like an early 2000s beat. You know, like it's not trappy. There's nothing trappy on this record, which I'm hoping means that general rappers, beginning rappers are moving away from trap. That leads on to a better track, which is, this as far as I know, the only rap album ever made with the first 2 tracks about rice. So the first one's called Jollof Rice, the next one's called Fried Rice. I haven't studied this guy enough to know, is he smart enough to be making some kind of deeper comment about cultural differences and about how moving from a rich food culture like Western Africa to a food desert like Queens, New York, can be signified by the change from jollof rice to white rice. I don't know, or to fried rice. But this is a really nice grimy beat, and I'm just going to play you this a little bit. It's got like really nice low bass and has some percussion in the back. Now, I'm not going to go too far and say, this has to be African percussion. But I don't know. I think it might be some kind of weird, janky sounding thing. This is Fried Rice by Bass. So you kind of hear that interesting beat, right? Like it's kind of and his flow goes along with it. He doesn't have a particularly remarkable flow, but it tends to go along well with what he's rapping. Nor is he a particularly inventive rapper, but he's not boring. I don't really know how to say it. It's a likable album, and I enjoyed it. So the first 2 are like that. Then the last 2 tracks are about love. and they're kind of contradictory. The first track is called Nirvana. It's kind of a poppy-ish, guitar-based song. It says, forever don't need no wedding ring. It's talking about all about his love. Then the next track is called Amnesia, where he says, my girl tells me all about her needs. I've got convenient amnesia. But maybe he's just being honest. Maybe, I don't know, this is kind of like a Chance the Rapper thing where he's sort of coming to terms with love and his relationships. Maybe actually that's the best comp you could make, is the Chance album, just because the beats aren't particularly hard. He's not trying to like tear the roof off the world and make something super badass, but it does feel like he's making something personal. Definitely the last track, Amnesia, feels a little bit more intentionally African sounding with the rhythms and the singing. This is one of those records where I wasn't expecting to like it on first listen, but as I was listening to it, I ended up getting used to it and kind of liking it. So, if you liked what I just played for you there, Fried Rice, and then this doesn't bother you too much as his poppy side, I'm gonna get copyright struck on this one. Oh, well. So if you don't mind those two kind of sides, it's not a bad thing to listen to. The conclusion is, whenever Boss comes out with an album, I'm gonna review it. So do you like the Boss album? I don't like this setting in my house. I feel like I'm in a green screen and I forgot to put something behind me. This is actually the color of my wall. The color is called fresh asparagus. I don't know. My ex-wife really liked that color. My wife now doesn't. So someday you will see a different color on this wall. Until that time, I will try to avoid this background because this is ugly. All right, until next time, there's the camera.